doble yung sweldo or anything. Hindi naman nadagdagan. But it's a welcome development. You still have to be thankful na may trabaho ka kesa wala, diba?
So true. You can't take your job for granted.
No, you cannot.
Daming mga walang trabaho ngayon.
Correct. Kasi medyo nakakaawa rin yung situation ng ibang tao, especially the small, medium, and micro enterprises. Sobrang nahihirapan sila nowadays. But there are some enterprises naman that were able to adapt very well, no, with what's happening. But yun nga lang, pag brick and mortar kasi yung trabaho mo, medyo hirap din ba? Di ba?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Understandable. Yung adjustments that very important that you're able to adapt to the new normal, di ba? Kasi hindi, gutom ka. So sometimes I wonder.
It's easier said than done eh. Alam mo yun, adapting to this new normal. It's just really extremely difficult lang talaga.
Yeah, I think I've been doing a lot of thinking about this nga eh. Na it's really about building value for yourself. How can you how can you be of service, or how can you give value to an endeavor or a project or a business so that you can be hired? So how do you build on that? Yun yung pinakamagandang the biggest question.
That's actually a very good question, and if you want, we can talk about it tonight.
Yeah.
But it's yeah.
Okay yan. Kasama na rin si dyan. Siyempre, part of the topic also is sige. Well, actually, we just start na, no? Para
yeah.
Para masaya. Okay. Ready ka na, Rick? Here we go.
Ready na.
Here we go. First of all, let's welcome everybody to Istoryang Futbolero. Welcome to the program. My name's Ron Poblete. With me, after a long absence, medyo busy, si Eric Madraso is back with us. Laking Davao po to si Eric Madraso. Kaya nagkakasundo kami nito sa Istoryang Futbolero. Meron rin kaming football team composed of people from Davao as well. And parang kailan lang yun, Rick, no? Same time last year, we were preparing for our alumni football tournament with our brothers from the different Ateneo schools in the Philippines.
That's right. We actually had the tournament by the end of February last year, correct? Just 2 weeks before the lockdowns happened, we were all in Cagayan, all enjoying the sun, enjoying the grass, and enjoying each other's presence, company, playing the sport that we love. And that was really actually a very, very nice. It was a nice moment, no? And we were supposed to host this year, right? Davao was supposed to.
Davao City po dapat mag-host nung Inter-Ateneo Alumni Football Tournament. And people were excited when we actually ended the tournament in Cagayan. People were already looking forward to this year. Unfortunately, nagkaroon ng pandemic. And I think most people feel the same way. You had plans for 2021 na hindi na natuloy, na mga tickets na binili ninyo in advance, mga trips ninyo abroad and to certain beautiful places here, mga tourist spots sa Pilipinas, na hindi natuloy dahil sa pandemic. And here we are, on 10 months into the pandemic, and good thing some of us luckily were able to survive barely. But of course, we have a lot of our kababayans also are struggling, and every day we try to find ways in trying to help them rise up and pick up the pieces from this terrible situation that the country is in right now. So first of all, Rick, pasalamatan natin yung mga OFWs na kami ay nagdadasal at nagpapasalamat na kayo po ay may mga trabaho pa rin abroad at hindi kayo kasama doon sa mga I think yung estimate, Rick, mga around 200,000 OFWs who are coming back to the Philippines because they lost their jobs abroad.
Yep.
So, yun ang sinasabi natin na kailangan natin magkaisa at magtulong-tulungan at magtulungan sa mga pinagdadaanan. And for those of you who are still abroad, you are our modern day heroes, ika nga, Rick. Kasi kahit na naghihirap yung ating nahihirapan tayo, yung ekonomiya natin ay tinatry nating angatin. Kayo ay tumutulong sa pamamagitan ng inyong mga remittances galing from abroad, helping us with our revenue here in the Philippines, with the dollars that we need to sustain our economy in this time of crisis. So welcome to the program. Salamat po sa mga OFW na madalas nakikinig sa atin, no matter what time zone they are in, whether you're in the Middle East, you're in Canada, Japan, Hong Kong. Salamat po sa pagkinig. May mga early birds na nga tayo dito, Rick. Si Juvie Taguba, si Grace Punzalan, and si Jojo Dagmante, Julio Trenta, Edna Oshita, Konbanwa from Japan. Ayun, like I said, meron na tayong mga viewers all the way from Japan. I can imagine sometimes people get lonely when they're abroad because they're all by them. They're lonesome, and doing this as a sacrifice to support their families, and of course, as a result, supporting the country as well. So, Rick, alam ko busy ka. Kamusta na? Balita sa'yo, birthday mo nung Monday. So, belated happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much. It's been very busy ever since.
30 ka na ngayon, no? Ano bang nangyari?
Very grabe. Well, ever since nag-turn yung bagong taon, syempre, sa work, sobrang busy. Ang dami namin kailangan gawin. So basically, 2020, ginulat tayo ng pandemic at marami nangyari at marami tayong natutunan. Ngayon, sa 2021, ang kailangan talaga natin gawin is tumayo na at kailangan nang bumalik, kailangan nang bumawi. No? So sa work ngayon, medyo we're scrambling, ang dami naming inaayos kasi nga new normal na ngayon. So we're trying to redo and improve some processes. Kaya medyo matrabaho, ang daming meeting, ang daming but I'm not complaining. It's just that nawawala lang yung time ko for this vlog and everything else.
Matagal ka na absent eh.
Isang buwan akong absent, bro. Buong January hindi ako nakasama. So, sorry, Ron. But, priorities.
Grabe. Ano naman, understood yun, no? Kailangan nating maghanap buhay para sa ating mga pamilya. I know the private sector are doing their best to make sure that their employees are getting what they deserve. Good thing. Kudos to all the companies who tried their best to make sure they retain their employees na konti lang mo trabaho, including our good friend si Mikel Paris ng Auntie Anne's. Hindi siya nakaka-attend rin sa ating Istoryang Futbolero dahil busy rin siya sa kakaintindi sa kanyang mga empleyado sa Auntie Anne's at to provide the best food or service and product out there so that they can sustain the business. At he's a great example. Hopefully, we'll get him back. Actually, gusto niyang sumali sa atin ngayon. We were supposed to have Dr. Beverly Ho of the DOH as our special guest tonight to talk about vaccines. Unfortunately, like most people who work in government, medyo busy. Talagang busy Beverly ngayon.
Alam na ngayong panahon. Di ba? They're really preparing for this.
Sobrang grabe ang load ng mga taga-DOH ngayon, kaya nag-beg off siya and requested for that we move our interview with her Kasi alam ko marami sa ating mga kaibigan, ating mga viewers ay maraming katanungan sa DOH, especially about the vaccine, and hopefully
Yes.
kasi daming mga fake news na lumalabas ngayon, Ricky. Ang
Yun
daming
nga
mga
yung ano eh.
mga
Actually, I was actually very excited sana na kasama natin si Dr. dito. Kasi I do have some questions regarding that vaccine, no? Or the
mm,
several vaccines that are coming. But whatever it is, whatever vaccine that's coming, I think that's good news that it's coming, and I think that's what the government is very busy about nowadays, no, especially DOH. And I understand, no, but okay lang yun. We can probably ask her some other time.
yeah, tsaka dahil po dyan sa issue ng vaccine, alam mo naman, wala naman tayong magic wand, no? Na para bigla lang ima-magic natin yung opposition at magbabago bigla yung kanilang ah, yung kanilang personalidad, yung kanilang pagiging kontra sa mga nangyayari sa ginagawa ng gobyerno na bigla na lang ay i-hold off nila yung pagpopoliticize ng mga issues. Pero hindi talaga may iwasan eh. Talagang part of their DNA na yun na pag mayroong konting problema, may konting masilipan sila na mali sa ginagawa sa polisiya ng gobyerno ay
Yeah.
inaatake agad nila at tinitwist pa nila yung kwento. So that's one of the things that we want to talk about tonight. Si Nel Ortiz greets you a happy birthday, Rick.
Thank you,
Also,
Nelia.
si Edna Oshita,
Thank you.
Vanjil Salvador, welcome to the program. Watching from Amsterdam Street in Cubao. Meron palang Amsterdam Street sa Cubao. Si Suzy
I'm
Paya
sure.
Pertinic and si Evelyn Toronto Cordero. Hello, Tita G, watching from Toronto, Canada. Yon. Welcome to the program. Sa Toronto, depending on where you are, Toronto is like, what? Is it East Coast na yan, Rick, no? So, bale,
I think
mga...
so. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure where Toronto is.
So,
Let's check.
good morning to you. If you're from Toronto, I think that's in the East Coast, very near the area where New York is. And magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Salamat sa pagkinig sa Istoryang Futbolero tonight. So, si Manang Leni strikes back, part of our topic tonight. And hindi talaga, gaya ng sabi ko sa inyo, pag may ugaling isang tao, hindi nila maiwasan na maging, it's like the scorpion and the frog. It's in the nature of the scorpion to sting the frog. That's why they both drowned. Even if we have a truce, I remember kasi the reason why I talk about this and use that as an analogy, Rick, no, the scorpion and the frog. Kasi naglabas si ating idol si Sara Duterte, si Mayor Inday, about running. That I don't know if she said it in jest, pero sinasabi niya, takbo lang ako kung susuportahan ako ng opposition. Kasi what's the point of doing something for the country if for the next 6 years you have an opposition who's hell-bent in destroying you? Diba? What's the point? Walang mangyayari.
Good point.
Kasi
Yeah,
ang ganda ng point niya. Totoo naman kasi based on the experience that we've had so far with PRRD. Simula na nang pumatong pa lang siya sa Malacanang noong June 2016. The first few months, akala mo may honeymoon period pa eh. Walang honeymoon period, banat kagad si Trillanes, banat kagad sila Pangilinan, sino to, yung isang senador rin na babae na galing rin sa PhilHealth, si what's her name? Sino? Si Lisa Ontiveros, si Drilon, tsaka lahat yung kanyang mga lalakis na yung mga dilaw, walang ginawa kundi banatan si PRRD. Actually, yung mga kaliwa that time, tinatry pa nila magkaroon ng alliance kay PRRD, di ba? They were very cooperative. And during if I'm not mistaken, the inauguration ba yun, Rick? Nakipag-usap pa si Presidente nagsalita pa si Presidente sa labas ng batasan at kinausap pa niya yung mga kaliwa na nagmarcha sa labas. Pero in support of PRRD, tapos nagsalita siya and he even nakipag-usap pa siya he granted an audience to the leaders of the leftist group that includes Renato Reyes and the like, no?
Yeah.
And that was short-lived because they wanted to uh, have a coalition government. Isa sa kanilang mga gustong mangyari is na maging part sila ng gobyerno, although si Presidente actually picked some of these leftist personalities to head certain agencies in government, di ba?
Yes,
Rick?
he did. Yes,
As
he
a
did.
sign of reconciliation, because part of the na gusto ni ang gustong mangyari ni Presidente ay tapusin na yung communist movement, and one of the very uh, prudent or smart moves that he made was to sort of like open the dialogue between him and the leftist groups. But that was short-lived because obviously the main goal of the leftist movement is to take over government, and they want a large chunk of the obviously the power. They want to take part in governance, and that can't happen because they don't have the mandate. They don't have the support of the general public. So how can that be? Parang siniswerte rin naman sila, Rick, no? I mean, 40 years na
Well,
rin sa Mm.
alam mo yun, the opposition being opposition, papalag at papalag talaga yan kung kahit na good news. Kahit na sabihin natin na Duterte discovers the cure for AIDS or something like that. Papalag at papalag yan. Meron lang sila masasabi. Basta para lang may masabi. Yung nga tawag nila doon, di ba, mema?
Mema.
May masabi. Di ba? May masabi lang. Di
Oh,
ba? So,
di ba? Grabe, asar na ano tayo, Rick, parang kulang na lang batuin natin yung mga TV sets natin sa Senate hearing ni Trillanes nung senador pa siya. Di ba? Burat na burat tayo sa kanya. At
and he's the guy, this is the guy who walks out of a Senate hearing regarding his trip to, di ba, to China, when Enrile was, and the rest, no, was asking him, what did he do in China? He just walked out. Di ba? Wala talagang delikadesa yung tao na yun, promise.
Tapos ipag-away pa kay Cayetano nung senador pa si Senator Cayetano, now a former Speaker of the House. And I remember those kanilang yung kanilang mga face to face, magkatabi pa sila sa Senate hearing. Si Trillanes binabanatan binabara si Cayetano ng mga bastos. 'Di ba? That's we have come down to that type of politicizing na talagang bastusan na. And it's annoying in that guy even up to now. I can't still explain why the media still interviews that idiot when he doesn't play a part at all. He's a private citizen na. Bakit pa ba ini-interview yung tao na yan? Ano bang kanyang importance sa mga nangyayari sa ating bansa ngayon?
Yun ang ginagawa ng mainstream media. Former head of this says na hindi maganda yung ginawa. Former head, former, di ba, secretary, former ganito. Lagi nilang tinatanong yung mga taong nakapwesto dun dati. Parang they want this person to criticize the current person or the current process that's happening. Which is para sa akin, it's very, very counterproductive, di ba? Why don't you talk to the person who's handling it right now?
Dito kasi, Enric, ikaw yung newspaper. Ang newspaper mo, ayaw dito sa gobyerno na to. So maghahanap ka ng isang tao that can represent that idea or that opposition, and you want that narrative. You want to pursue that narrative. You want people to hear about it. So you will get somebody who is well-known, even if they don't have anything to do with government. Basta sikat or semi-sikat, kagaya ni Kaki Pangilinan na singer daw.
I don't even know that person.
Parati lang kinuquote yung bata na yun, hindi ko alam bakit. Ano bang nagawa niya para sa bansa na parating importante yung anong sasabihin niya about it, 'di ba? How better is she than some of her contemporaries who work in government right now, 'di ba? Or who are even in Congress. So bakit ba siya parating kino-quote ng TV5, parati mong nakikita yung pangalan niya sa social media, and then now nag-boomerang rin to sa kanya, Rick, kasi naglabas siya ng music video or kumanta siya sa anong tawag nito? Yung Wish Bus. Alam mo ba yung
Wish
Wish
ba
Bus?
yun? Oo. Yeah,
Tapos
I mean,
loko-loko rin itong mga DDS kasi alam mo ginawa nila, nagano sila, gumawa sila ng parang tali. Ilan yung yung anong tawag dito, yung likes at saka yung
dislike.
dislikes. Tapos
Yeah.
tapos siguro grabe naman yung ibang class, savage rin Rick, yung mga parang 9,000 likes tapos 100 plus thousand dislikes. Wild, bro.
Okay.
Wawa
I
naman yung
mean,
bata. I mean,
hindi ko hindi ko napanood yung video niya. Actually, hindi ko siya sinusubaybayan because I really am not interested to know more about her. And to listen to her music. It's just that para sa akin, it's not worth my time. Pero nakita ko sa Facebook, no, sa social media, yung the way she's being bashed, no. Kawawa yung YouTube, ano niya, yung episode na yun, na ang daming dislikes na. And I think the Wish Wish FM ba yun or something like that, yung Wish bus na yun, they had to turn off the likes and dislikes dun sa video na yun kasi sobrang sobrang dami ng dislikes.
grabe no, nakakaawa rin yung kahit pa paano no, may naman rin yung tao, 'di ba? May feelings rin yung tao. So if you see
Uh,
somebody like that, medyo kahit na lang nga, may konting comment lang against you on social media, sasama na loob mo, how much more makita mo na ang dislikes mo, yung hate mo na
ah,
ah, sa video mo sobrang 10 times or 20 times more than the likes. Nakakaawa rin kahit paano
well,
yung nag-effort
alam
kang
mo,
kumanta. Alam mo, ang ganda ng boses mo. Tapos biglang ganun pala ang reaction ng tao sa'yo, di ba?
sa tingin ko naman, na-brief na yan si Kaki ng tatay niya na, handa ka lang kasi medyo malaki ang backlash dyan or something like that, no? I'm sure
Well,
na may nag-warning na sa kanya niyan.
unless, Rick, alam mo naman yung mga ating mga kapatid na dilawan, meron
Hmm.
silang malakas ang nun ang paniniwala na magaling sila. So baka
Oo
feeling
nga,
din
kaya
niya na
feeling din niya na
magaling
okay.
sila. Tapos, game lang, go lang ng go.
So,
Di ba?
yeah,
Wala silang
I mean para sa akin, ah, kung dream talaga niya maging singer, ayusin niya. I mean, and being a singer kasi, or an artist, hindi yan siya sa pangalan eh. Di ba, kunwari Pangilinan ka, or Kuneta ka ba, or something, whatever, ganyan. Um, you have to earn the respect of people, especially now, na in the age of social media, ang dali lang mag-bash. Pag may konting mali ka lang, kunyari nasa spotlight ka, sikat ka na. May konting mali ka lang dyan, kawawa ka. The internet is going to eat you alive. That's
alam mo,
what's going to happen.
ayaw kasi ang generally, Rick, kahit ikaw siguro, tayo karamihan sa atin na yung mga ating mga kaibigan, ayaw sa mga kasi, mga plastic. Ayaw natin sa
Oo,
mga pa-feeling or nagmamagaling. Ang
yep.
problema, pag, lakas ng loob niya mag-post sa Twitter eh. Parati siya ng hirit. Hindi naman, alam mo, ang ganda, natatawa nga ako dun sa definition ng woke. Alam mo yung bagong definition ng woke, Rick? Kasi
Anong bago?
si Kaki sort of like belongs to that clique, that kind of that type of millennial or a group of young people na tinatawag nilang woke. Alam mo
Oh,
yung definition na kita sa social media about woke? Ito daw yung
oh.
mga people who just woke up and started thinking they know everything.
Well, that's kind of accurate also. Eh, nakakatawa lang talaga. I mean, matagal na yung phenomenon na yan, yung pagiging woke ng mga tao na bigla na lang sila nagiging expert.
Expert
And
sa lindol, expert sa
yeah, di ba?
vaccine, expert
While,
sa
while I respect people's opinions na, I mean, it's a free country, it's a free world, you can always express your opinion. Pero sana naman educated yung opinion mo. Huwag yung pataka ka lang dyan man na parang mura kang kinisa ba.
Ako rin kasi ang attitude ko towards conversations is I like to listen more than uh, I like to listen more than talking. Kasi when you
Okay.
listen more, mas may value doon kasi mas marami, may matututunan ka from the other person if you just keep on talking. What you're talking about anyway is something you already know. So, kung
Yeah.
daldal ka lang ng daldal, wala ka talaga matutunan. Kasi akala mo, ikaw yung may alam eh. So, when you have a conversation with somebody, dapat you have to have an open mind. And kahit na ano yan, dilawan pa yan, opposition pa yan, kaliwa pa yan, pag meron silang sinabi na make sense, papakinggan ko rin yun. At papag-isipan ko rin kung whether or not in terms of how it measures up with what you know, if it is something you think better in terms of idea, di I will accept that idea and be humble enough to say, tama ka, okay yan. O nga no, tama ka, okay yan. Kasi dyan ka matututo eh. If you come into a conversation or an argument or any type of interaction na feeling mo ikaw ang magaling, walang mangyayari talaga sa'yo.
Yeah.
At magagalit lang yung tao sa'yo at hindi ka papakinggan. Ayan ang
Marami
problema.
akong kilalang ganyan. Unfortunately. Well, a lot of them are, it's not necessarily na political yung pinapag-usapan, pero marami akong kilala na know-it-all. No, parang alam nila na sila yung expert, ganun. And kahit anong pag-usapan under the sun, meron talaga sila masasabi. And I'm like, sure. Ako pinapabayaan ako na lang eh.
Sabihin mo, alam mo ba yung nakita mong light emanating from the moon is actually the reflection of the planet coming from na may kinalaman pa rin yung sun. Mga ganyan, sabihin nila, actually, ang ano dyan, meron kagad sila.
Actually, dahil ganyan yan eh. Parang, hindi ka na naman tayo. Lalo na pagkasama mo sa inuman o kaya dinner, ganyan.
Tapos tuloy-tuloy na, dada na ng dada, wala na, hindi na ano. Kaya, buti nga yung mga viewers natin, very sila eh. Karamihan sa mga viewers ng Istoryang Futbolero talagang nag-iisip. Alam mo, nag-iisip kasi ang mga comments nila make sense. And then, at the same time, it's not because we want to diss the opposition, no? Or we feel that we're superior than them, but it's the thing is, the way they argue with you, paminsan, most of the time, doesn't make sense. Number two, it comes from someone else, yung kanilang mga comments. Pag sinabi nilang, paulit-ulit nilang sinasabi is, nasaan na ipakita na lang ang salin ni Presidente. Asan na yung ganito, ganyan. Ibabalik-balik na paulit-ulit yung kung ano yung narrative ng kabila.
What, diba?
Yung PR nila, lahat sila, pati yung mga kaibigan natin na dilawan, bigla na lang yun din ang sinasabi. Ang galing, no? Parang may magic sila eh. Yung parang
it's bandwagon. It's really bandwagon. Kasi para sa kanila, simple lang eh. They don't like Duterte. And they want him out. Diba? That's their main goal. Kaya kung anong sabi ng isa, dapat, one voice tayo ha. Para Pero kunwari may palpak sa kanila. Pag may pumalpak sa kanila, for example, yung spaghetti ni Leni. Diba? Parang, come on. Diba? Donated na yun, tapos ikaw pa rin yung sikat. Sabi mo, donated lang sa amin yun. Kaya dinistribute lang namin, ikaw pa rin yung sikat. Parang, diba parang, come on. I mean,
ganito kasi, Andre. Dapat kasi kung matalino sila, alam nila, dapat pinag-aralan nila kung ano ang maganda sa presidente. Kasi maganda ang feedback kay presidente, kay PRRD. Bakit? Totoong tao siya eh. Hindi siya mapagpanggap. Hindi siya yung tipong tao na politiko na lalabas sa pupunta sa mga barangay, biglang, nag-aabot ng pagkain. 'Di ba? May photo ops. Si Leni gano'n eh. Simula pa lang, nung bago pa lang siyang vice presidente, nagpa-picture siya sa Magallanes, sa Shell Magallanes. Patayo-tayo, nag-aantay daw ng bus. Wala namang bus dumadaan doon sa Shell Magallanes.
Yun nga yung nakakatawa dito eh. Kasi, nowadays kasi, ang Pilipino, medyo alam na nila yung laro ng mga politiko, lalo ng mga trapo.
Mm.
So, despite that, pinipilit pa rin ng team ni Leni, no, mga LP na ganun yung they still play the way they did before. Which is, yan nga, photo op, ganun, pasikat. Pero wala namang talagang real effect. Now,
Mm.
for example, ito si PRRD. Yan ang number one ayaw niya, yung nasa spotlight siya, di ba, na binibigyan siya ng importance. Ever since naging presidente siya, nasa background lang si presidente directing, di ba? Itong
Mm.
gawin natin, yan gawin natin. Pero napakalaki ng effect sa taong bayan. Versus, kampo ni Leni na laging nasa newspaper, laging nasa TV, laging may sinasabi, wala naman talagang totoong natutulong. Right? So sabihin natin, may donation drive si Leni nung pumutok yung Taal o yung binagyo yung anong part yun? Doon banda sa may Bicol yun, di ba?
Mhm.
So, I mean, pag okay yun, I mean, maganda naman talaga gumawa ng mga ganung klaseng bagay, but anybody can do it. Anybody, an alumni association, a non-government organization, any group, kahit yung car club tsaka motorcycle club ko, nagdo-donate eh. Di ba? So,
Mm.
what, since you are a elected government official, the second highest one, yan lang ba ang kaya mong gawin? I mean,
Well,
para sa akin
well,
kasi, eh,
wala rin.
kulang.
Eh, well, first of all, they're at the positioning already. That's the word, really.
Oh,
Magkaalaman na
ever since
tayo.
Duterte won.
Obviously, na they're positioning her to become the standard bearer of the opposition in 2022. As a matter of fact, meron pa silang kung meron daw Sara Run, Run Sara Run, meron namang Leni Run 2022 or uh, Leni for President. Meron silang may movement na silang tinatayo ngayon, Rick. At uh,
Anong moment?
ginawa pa, ay ano pa nga ng binalita pa nga ng mainstream media eh. Juxtapose pa nila sa Run Sara Run, and then Leni, meron daw meron ng movement na si Leni naman ang pinupush na tumakbo. Kunyari parang merong volunteer group na headed by sino tong congressman, Baligat ba yun, yung taga yung yung naka-Ifugao uniform outfit parate.
Dahil,
That guy, remember that guy?
yeah.
Yun. Leni lead 2022, sabi ni Jovan.
Okay.
Leni lead 2022. Ayos So meron na silang mga slogans at piniprepare na nila yung kanilang mga yung machinery nila. I think meron talaga silang could be baka nga talaga medyo delusional na yung ating mga kapatid sa kabila, pero they really feel that they have a chance in 2022, that they actually have a chance to win. But who
Well,
knows?
they actually don't have a choice. They really need to do something to win. Kasi nga, it's a power struggle. We have to admit that it is a power struggle. It's between the person who won and against the person who wants to take over. Ever since Duterte won 5 years ago, hindi na sila nakakaantay eh. 'Di ba si Trillanes pa lang, 'di ba? Banat na ng banat si Trillanes and everyone around him, si De Lima and everything, 'di ba?
Oh,
Banat na sila ng banat because ayaw nila si Duterte. They wanted power back immediately. Wala. Hindi talaga. So,
lahat nga na pwede nilang gamitin to attack this administration, ginagawa na nila ngayon eh. Meron silang ini-enumerate na nila, let's say palpak daw sa pag-address ng COVID-19, ayuda, dapat ayuda, hindi chacha, may mga ganun pa silang mga slogan, mga banat, may mga pa sila, mga call to ending tyranny, mga ganun. So do you want to paint a picture that we're really, I mean, yes, medyo bleak yung ating situation because of the pandemic, but these people really want to take advantage of that, Rick. And ganito yan, Rick eh. Ano na tayo, I mean, wag na tayo magbulahan. Tingin nila talaga sa karamihan, mga bobo. Tingin nila sa mga Pilipino, karamihan sa mga Pilipino, bobo.
Yeah.
Kaya yung kanilang yung PR strategy nila at saka yung kanilang pagiging sloganeering nila na para mahilig sila sa mga one-liners, Twitter na ginagamit nilang platform to sort of amplify certain messages. Tapos gagamitin nila itong mga personalities, kesyo influencer sila, even somebody like a stupid guy like Trillanes. So at a certain point from 2016 to 2019, people even from their party loathe the fact that when he's on TV, nanggigigil. Actually, may message nga dito, Rick, saan na ba yun? That pretty much explains. Ito. Sabi ni Facebook user,
Okay, wala siya.
Sa group ito eh. I just want to acknowledge who this person is para lang, kasi importante sa amin na, may nagtitake part yung ating viewers sa conversation natin sa Istoryang Futbolero. Sabi ni, Ethelda de Vera, yun ang pangalan niya. Seriously, parang her PR team done well. The only VP na ang ingay-ingay, every time she opens her mouth, may public reaction talaga. Affected ako kasi nakakainis na natatawa ako. So,
okay. Yun yung sinasabi ko eh. Parang, alam mo, sa totoo lang, kung meron silang bagong slogan, may bago silang one-liner, or kung may bagong sinasabi si Leni, bumabenta lang yan sa kanila lang. Di ba? It's within, sa circles lang nila yun eh, na bumibenta. Siyempre sa atin, parang ito na naman ba? Parang may sasabi na naman. Ano ba yan?
They represent kasi the worst thing about Philippine politics. Their party has become a pariah. It's become something of a bad example, no? As to why people are cynical about government. Because what they're doing in terms of propaganda in public relations is a typical political trapo move. Yung mga sinasabi nila, yung ginagawa nila, nagtitake advantage sila sa mga problema, and they wanna ride on issues just so they will come off as somebody who is right, who is a better alternative. When the truth is, most people, kaya nga sila hindi nanalo noong 2019 at hindi sila nanalo noong 2016 kasi karamihan sa mga tao ay pagod na sa kanilang pagmumukha at sa kanilang pinagsasabi. Ang problema sa kanila, hindi nila naiintindihan yun. Hindi nila, yun nga problema sa masyadong feeling bright, Rick. Feeling magaling. Hindi ka na naikinig sa ibang tao at hindi mo na napapansin ang mga pagkakamali mo. Tingin mo kasi lahat ng ginagawa mo tama. Diba? Yun ang problema sa mga dilawan eh. Tingin kasi nila sila yung tama parati. So, hindi nila iniisip or at least naman nilagay yung sarili nila sa ano bang sentimiento ng totoo ng mga tao.
Listen, Ron, listen. Siguro alam nila na mali ginagawa nila pero wala silang choice. Wala silang choice. Alam mo naman ito, kunwari, ang liberal party, may backer yan. May financier yan. No? Whether themselves o kung sino man may pera, patakboy mo, I want Duterte destroyed. Something like that. Diba? Wala silang choice. They have to make noise. They really have to do it. Kasi, trabaho nila eh. Okay, sabi ni boss, itong gawin ko. Okay. Kunyari, di ba? Kunyari, mainstream media. Kunyari, ABS-CBN. Kung sinabi ng big boss na i-highlight mo yung mali ni Duterte, wag yung mga magaganda, wala ka rin magagawa eh. O sige, ito yung re-report natin. Di ba? So, it's basically that, no? Sabi nga nila, di ba, shit rolls downward. So, sometimes, yung mga trabahante, yung mga nasa baba, wala. Di ba? Wala ka rin magagawa eh. Kaya sabi ni boss eh, okay, sige, itong gagawin ko. Pero, there's always this one or group of people that's really running the show, and they're behind the scenes. And that's what's really happening with politics right now, especially dito sa LP. Wala, kahit sabihin nila, alam nila, mali ginagawa nila, parang okay, spaghetti, bigay tayo ng spaghetti, papicture tayo, parang, ito na naman ba, parang, kahit ako, kunwari ako si Leni, magsasawa na rin ako eh. Di ba, parang, wala na,
Diyan,
itong ginagawa ko,
ito na lang.
I would, oh,
Tama ka dyan, Rick. Kasi babalik rin tayo dun sa example, yung spaghetti gate ni Leni.
spaghetti incident. Alam mo
Spaghetti
yun,
gate.
alam mo yun, spaghetti incident ng
Matagit,
Guns N'
no?
Roses.
Spaghetti gate. Alam mo, si Leni, ganito lang yan. May nagsabi naman sa akin na mabait daw si Leni. Yung ano pa lang siya, yung sa Congress pa yata siya noon, tapos buhay pa yung asawa niya, nasa DILG, panahon ni Pinoy. Mukhang mabait siya. I think probably she is.
Yeah.
Ang tanong dyan is competence. Is she smart enough to understand that what she's doing is not effective? Na pwede niyang sabihin sa mga tao na nag-handle ng PR niya, huy, tigilan nga ninyo itong pinapagawa niyo sa akin, hindi ito nag-work eh. Diba? Bakit hindi niya ginagawa yun? Mag-aanim na taon na, paulit-ulit yung mga pinanggagawa nila, yung mga hirit nila, yung mga pabida nilang mga moves. Bakit si Leni matalino? Sasabihin niya, alam mo guys, PR team,
you're fired.
Hindi na siguro ito nag-work, no? Huwag tayong diba? Be herself. Hindi siya nagiging hindi siya nagpapakatotoo. Parang hindi siya Sprite. Parang hindi pa niya narinig yung commercial ng Sprite. Magpakatotoo ka. Yun yung pinaka-importanteng missing ingredient sa kabilang dako ng ating tinatawag na bakod. Kasi karamihan doon sa kabilang bakod, ang iniisip lang is, alam mo, sa tingin ko magre-resonate to sa mga poor folks doon sa may laylayan ng Bicol. if si Leni dapat magpakita siya doon, may hawak na spaghetti, inaabot niya doon sa bata. Spaghetti. Alright. Last picture.
Ang mga mukha ng mga tao na nagtanggap ng spaghetti, parang, okay.
Yun rin. 'Di ba? Kung magaling yung PR team niya, hindi ba nila pino-proofread yung kanilang pinapalabas na na photo? Uy, ano ba to yung bata nakasimangot, bakit nila nilalabas tong picture na to? Doon pa lang bagsak na 65.
Sample lang. I mean, ako, kunwari, mahirap tayo lahat, kunwari. Kahit na, kunwari ngayon, kakatok dito si Leni ngayon, kakatok sila, tapos magpapa-photo op, magbibigay ng spaghetti sa akin. Mahirap man o mayaman, parang, binisita ako ng Vice President ng Pilipinas para bigyan ako ng spaghetti? Oh, come on. Diba, thank you. Diba?
Siguro, 2017 pa siguro, kung matalino si Leni, she should have fired the freaking PR person as early as 2017.
No,
After
man,
that stupid photograph of her at Shell Magallanes waiting for a bus, dapat yung fallout noon, yung nangyaring negative publicity na yun, dapat finire na niya kaagad yung PR person na nag-handle ng PR niya. 'Di ba? Kaso hindi kaya siya
para sa akin wala siyang choice because it's not her PR team. It's somebody else's. Somebody else is paying for that PR team.
Probably the PR team of the Liberal Party, headed by probably Kiko Pangilinan or Bam Aquino, we don't know, or somebody from sabi sa akin ni Buboy, ang nag-handle ng PR ng Dilawan is a certain woman named Yoli Ong na dating Campaigns in Gray.
Campaigns in Gray.
Remember that stupid ad of Mar Rojas at a park? Yung meron silang parang happy. Parang Wizard of Oz. Diba? Meron pa silang yung bola. Oh my gosh. Nakatinding na bali. Hanapin nga natin yun. Para lang i-rehash natin. Pwede ba yun, Rick? Palabas yun? Kasi
I-show mo sa ano, hanapin mo sa
yung mga
YouTube ulit yung
yung makuha. Kasi ano lang ha, para lang maalala ng ating mga viewers had yung ano, how funny it was. Ito yata yun. Oh my gosh. Yung mga part lang ha. Kasi baka mabilaukan kayo or you might end up puking in your mouth, but so we're not gonna torture you with this.
oh my God.
We're gonna just show a few minutes of ayun. Kita ba yan, Rick?
Yeah.
Na. Ha? Oh. Oh.
Billy Crawford.
Wow.
Mag-uumaga na, tila may kulay na. Buwang pagsisikap sa bagong palas.
Okay pa yan eh. Okay pa yan eh.
Kung hindi kikita
Okay, okay.
Busy sila oh. Ito oh.
mayroong makakainin buhay ay paano na. Ako, sigaw ng aking puso. Kinaman ng Diyos ay di maglalaho. May bukas na.
Fast forward natin. Sa may part na si Mark. Awkward moments. Ayan, ito.
Nakita ko fist bump siya.
Wow. All-star cast pala to. Oh. Oh my gosh. Diyos ko Lord. Andito yan si Leni, di ba?
Wala.
Andito yun.
Oh.
Boss.
Meron ako ano. Ito ba yung video na nag-build din si Ramon Bautista?
Dito. Saan eh?
Diyan dito siya.
Dito.
Kasi,
Oh my gosh.
sige.
Anyway, guys, so you get the idea, right? Ay, let's go lang. Let's read the comment.
I have a friend. May kaibigan ako na in-invite na para sumali dyan sa video as an extra. Siyempre, binayaran sila. Hindi ko na maalala kung magkano yung bayad sa kanila, pero it's nasa mga 20, 30, or 40,000 pesos just to be there. No? Tapos, alam mo, sinabi nila, oh, sige, pumunta kami kasi pera na eh. Di ba? Pero yun eh. Pero they didn't necessarily vote for Marrojas. They didn't vote for Duterte either. They voted for somebody else. Alam mo yun? So parang,
Alam mo, honestly, Rick, sa totoo lang, yung Mr. Palengke pa siya, medyo may dating pa siya nung time na yun eh. Pero yung nagtumakbo na siya for president, weird, man.
Wala na, yung gumaganon-ganon siya, doon na parang,
sa nila, guys, pasensya na kasi medyo natutuwa lang ako kay Marrojas kaya gusto ko lang ipakita sa inyo ulit yung kanyang mga ito yun, no? Oh!
Ilang taon ka na?
Si Lani po, ako po 13.
Anong pangarap niyo?
Siman sana. Ako po, artista. Pero hindi ko na iniisip. Kanya-kanyang kahit po dito. Walang maayos sa trabaho. Walang pambilang gamot. Walang pambilang gamot.
Sa'yo.
Anak, itabi mo. Ako na. Sama-sama tayo. Hindi ko kayo pababayaan. Lalaban sa
symbolism.
Ang galing-galing yung mga... Ito.
Walang maayos
Wait.
po dito. Walang maayos sa trabaho. Pero hindi ko na iniisip.
Ito lang, Rick.
Kanya-kanyang kahit...
Tignan mo yung pagmumukha niya, Rick.
Oo nga. Kaya ko tingnan. Ito, sabi nga ni Karina, guys, torture naman yung video.
Hindi lang para na maalala nyo. Kasi kami, kinukwento lang namin yung ginagawa ng Dilawan eh. this is an example of how they think. This is how their PR team thinks. It's the proof is in the pudding. Sabi nga nila Rick, di ba? And you can see in their commercials, in their PR, in mga press release nila, na talagang sobrang peke, fake. Kaya nga tuloy,
Yeah.
hindi mo maiwasan. Maraming mga kinakantsawan si Vice Presidente as the fake VP. Kasi ang dating niya talagang
Wala,
in
man.
by definition is really fake.
Yep.
Sad to
Wala.
say.
I mean, it's really a waste of time, no, for people like us, no, na to watch those. Kaya nga sabi nga ni Karina, torture naman yan, ano ba? Parang it's really cringy. Sobrang cringy talaga. I mean, um, they could have done more with that money. I mean, they could have done a better ad with the money that they spent. No, they could have talked about issues and platform. Anong gagawin ko if I'm president and stuff like that, diba? Kunwari, o katulad ni Trump, no? Yung when Trump um ran for president, sinabi niya, I'll build a wall and I'll make Mexico pay for it. So yung mga diehard American, ano talaga, true blue Americans, okay, I'm gonna vote for this guy because he really, really wants attention and respect back to America. Yun yung gusto mangyari ni Trump. Kaya siya nanalo. Pero instead, these people sa LP wanted a station ID. Di ba? Parang,
Station ID or mukhang station ID lang talaga sila gumawa without them even thinking about what it looks like. It's like they never really thought. It's like meron silang template of what a commercial should look like. So stylized, meron pa mga drone shot, tapos lagay ng artista. Kasi ang formula para sa politika sa tingin ng mga kalang PR is lagi ka lang diyan ng ng sikat para
Yeah.
mag-enjoy yung mga yung masa. Kasi idol nila tong mga artista na to. So lagay mo diyan yung mga maglagay ka ng mga artista, maglagay ka ng Maricel Soriano, tapos may konting banter with your candidate para yung goodwill will transfer from what they like about the artista to the candidate himself, Mar Rojas and Leni Robredo. 'Di ba? So
doesn't work. Doesn't work.
enabler sila of yung ating mga what's worse about our electorate. They're enablers. They think that lahat ng kasi tingin nila bobo nga talaga ang electorate natin. Nadadala lang sa budots-budots, nadadala sa sayaw-sayaw, song number, tapos
Kung
artista.
some of that is true pa rin. Totoo pa rin naman, some of the electorate lang talaga is medyo immature voters pa. Right? Pero wag sana nilang lahatin. Kasi people that are mature voters, no? With like people na nanonood sa atin dito sa Istoryang Futbolero, naiinsulto eh. Di ba naiinsulto na? So, mas marami na kasing tao na mas matalino ngayon kesa hindi. And we have to thank the internet for that. And the internet really is it's both a good place and hell at the same time, no? But if you focus on the good things, I try to focus on the good things. The internet can be so much informative talaga if you really do your research. Ang dami mong pwedeng matutunan sa internet eh. Lalo na sa mga kalokohan nitong mga politicians na to. But the only thing is lang talaga, one of the problems of the internet age right now is fake news. Ang dami nagsi-circulate dyan na fake news. So, ingat lang din sa kung anong nababasa ninyo. Especially now na parating na yung vaccine.
Alam mo, Rick, part of the campaigns yan, Rick, part of the strategy ang Black Ops. So, Black Ops, ibig sabihin po niyan, mga kaibigan, you have social media as your platform, you have Facebook, you have Twitter. And then, syempre, you have your trolls. Yung mga troll nila, ang gagawin is they will comment on, let's say, sa thread ng Inquirer. So, kunyari, merong something negative about the administration, dagsaan yan, mga siguro from 20 to 50 trolls yan ng na I'm sure funded by the other side, And what they'll do is just comment bad stuff.
Yeah.
Walang kwenta, bobo talaga to, tanga, palitan na si Digong, ganyan-ganyan. So, magko-comment din sila, sabay-sabay. To make it appear that people don't like this administration. Pero ang problema sa Facebook kasi, Rick, is you cannot fabricate the number of sentiments or engagement in yung mga likes, hearts, angry face. So you will see the same people doing the same thing, paulit-ulit lang. Pero yung mga likes or hearts, love sa ginawa ni Presidente, sobrang dami talaga. Yan ang hindi nila mabago. Pwede silang mag-comment, pwede nilang i-fabricate yung comment section, pero yung actual pindot ka ng like, hindi ka pwede mag-like twice eh. Hindi ka pwede, di ba? Hindi naman magka-count yun eh. Every like comes from one person or one account. And if they have, it's impossible na naman siguro they have like 2,000 people na ang gagawin lang araw-araw is mag-comment or mag-like or mag-heart ng mga imposible. Pansinin mo yan sa mga live broadcast, Rick. Kunyari may announcement ng presidente, generally speaking, siguro by kung ano yung approval rating ni presidente, 90% of the time, puro positive yung feedback. Puro heart, thumbs up sign ang lumalabas sa social media. Their occasional hate, heart, hindi nila ma-penetrate yan kasi walang they can't fabricate or do anything to make it appear na mas marami sila. So ang gagawin nila is babanatan nila yung sa comment section. Doon sila paulit-ulit, same person, same name, same account na anime yung picture, yung photo, or somebody sa account, ninakaw nila yung picture, gagamitin nila dun sa fake account na yun.
Meron nga sa Facebook, sa lahat ng news about Duterte or his administration, meron talagang sikat na basher. Ayaw ko kung napansin mo sa Facebook. Pangalan niya si Gilbert GK.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Lagi na lang siya, di ba? Lagi na lang.
Hindi isa account niya, ang dami na the same photo. Di ba?
Yep. Sobrang nakakatawa kasi lagi na lang may masabi. Mema talaga eh. Parang, tapos tinatanong na nga, nakakatawa ngayon sa comments. Nakapansin pa nga niyan si Erlin yung sinasabihan na siya, pare, okay ba dyan? Maganda bang bigayan dyan? Sumasagot din doon siya na, pare, medyo okay. Alam mo naman, trabaho lang. Yung ganun doon siya.
Tapos that's ang gagawin nila, yung kanilang talking heads will say, kagaya ni Leni, di ba? May ba si Leni na bago na naman na comment na kinote na naman siya ng media na, di kami, puro kami totoong tao dito. Yung mga nagko-comment daw, mga puro totoong tao. Sila lang yung yung maraming trolls. So gusto nila ibabalik ta rin nila yung kumbaga yung perception. Papalabas nila na ang mga DDS ay karamihan trolls or bayaran. When the truth is, all the fabricated stuff and the negative comments on social media come from their side. Diba? And the so-called DDS, they're just reacting to the stupidity that they see on social media. Kaya pansinin mo itong mga comments natin dito sa Istoryang Futbolero, Rick. Karamihan dyan is just asar lang eh. Troll ba yung mga yan? I don't think so.
Correct. Sabi nga ni Noor di nila kaya ang DDS dahil totoo ang mga accounts. Yung mga binabato nila sa mga DDS, nagba-backfire sa kanila dahil gawain nila. Di ba?
Exactly. Kung ano yung baho nila, tingin nila yun din ang ginagawa ng kabila. Kung ano yung guilty sila about, they're guilty of doing really stupid things on social media na it's deliberate. So feeling nila the supporters of the president are doing the same thing. The truth of the matter is, ako, kasi Rick, kahit pa paano, I've been helping government sa communications. So I know for a fact na walang binabayaran na mag-troll ng kabila. First of all, bakit naman magtutroll ang government against these opposition characters na to? Wala naman silang support.
They don't need to.
How
They
many
have to.
times have they attempted to ask people to go to EDSA in the last 5 years?
Yeah.
Rick, we cannot count how many times they've asked people, dapat tanggalin si Presidente, magkita tayo sa February 21. Ano tayo sa Luneta, mga ganyan, kita-kita sa EDSA. Tapos a handful of people show up. Siguro the most that they had was back in 2017, if I'm not mistaken, Rick, nung time na nagkaroon ng Kian issue, ang banat nila is human rights. Yung namatay na bata.
Yeah. I don't really remember those kinds of events because medyo hindi siya significant eh.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I know, but I'm a political junkie, so I remember these things. So I remember them gathering at White Plains, and you can see talagang so sobrang ang kokonti lang talaga nila. I remember some of our friends even attended that rally thinking that they would gain support, but to no avail. And our good friend, I'm not going to say who it is, but one of our good friends, he keeps on going to these rallies hoping that it will actually gain support from the general public. And most of the time, and actually all the time, it fails. So dyan pa lang dapat alam na nila eh. Tapos pero kala mo pag mag-tweet sila, pag humirit sa Twitter, kala mo, wow, tigilan na itong abuso na to. Patalsikin na si Digong.
We are being abused and our country is being raped. Parang, what? What kind of Philippines are you from? Nasaan ba kayo?
Weird. The only people who believe them are some influential people from the international scene.
And that's what I'm saying kanina. These are people with the money, and these are people that enable this kinds of machinery na papagalawin talaga nila yan. Diba?
Speaking of which, Rick, part of our topic tonight, Rappler apparently is going to receive or have been is in the short list of receiving a Nobel Peace Prize. Si Maria Ressa. Ibang klase na talaga ito mga to. Ayos, Time Person of the Year, nandun siya, kasama siya dun sa list. Tapos ngayon, maabot na sila sa Nobel Peace Prize na. Makes you think tuloy, how credible is this freaking body?
How can she become an awardee of the Nobel Peace Prize when all she's done was rumor mongering and warmongering?
Exactly. She's not even a war correspondent to begin with. And she makes it appear as if she's gone to these places where war happened. Parang ganun pa yung ibang klase talaga yung
nasa ibang lugar yung utak talaga nila. And again, it's a free world, it's a free country. We need to embrace this kind of diversity also. Kailangan natin silang itindihin na ganun talaga yung takbo ng mga utak nila. Pero hindi mo rin maiwasan, hindi mainis eh.
Tapos yung documentary daw ni Maria Reza na 1,000 Cuts, baka ma-nominate for an Oscar.
Whatever.
Wala na talaga. Wala nang pag-asa ang mundo.
I mean, again, these are people with money, and they're using their money to influence these bodies like the Nobel, that organization that gives out Nobel Prizes, itong mga Oscar na ganyan. Siyempre, iba talagang rhetoric na gagamitin nila dyan. Sasabihin talaga nila, sino yung sinulat ng New York Times, Pilipinas, kawawa dahil kay Duterte.
Yung talagang ginagawa nila, Rick. So, what they do is they have, obviously, Maria Ressa, being a former CNN reporter, has the connections. And, obviously, it's well known that Umidyar, or one of those very rich, see, Soros is an investor in Rappler,
Yeah.
or in the company. So he has all the connections. He can even talk to somebody like the wife of George Clooney, si Kamala
Yeah.
Clooney, who is like a famous human rights lawyer. And she has all the connections to talk to the mainstream media, the left, kung tinatawag nating the left-leaning media in the United States, the New
Yeah.
York Times. She can just easily pass on a story, and then they will adapt or print that on their paper, or upload that on their website or their Facebook page as part of a New York Times story na gawa ng Pinoy. So they use all these avenues, Rick, no? To make it appear as if that we are talagang in the doldrums here in the Philippines, and we have the worst president ever. They have the capability to do that, which they've done, making the Philippines look bad. Ano yung tanong nga kay, di ba, kay Mikel, ng mga kanyang mga kaibigan from the UK, okay lang kayo dyan sa Pilipinas? Because outside, we
Oh,
are seen as this, parang sobrang troubled tayo, ang gulo ng, daming patayan. When it's far from the
yeah.
truth. It's
It's really
weird.
hard to truth. Nakakatawa nga eh. I mean, it's really funny how people, from the opposition portray their experiences here in the Philippines. So, for example, ako, I don't know if you know, I bought a new motorcycle, di ba?
Mm.
I've been out. I've been going around and wala namang wala namang issue. Hindi naman ako binabaril, hindi naman ako sinisita, hindi ako hinuhuli. I mean, there are no human rights issues, no? I mean, lagi ako nasa labas, men. Wala namang problema.
Kaya nga, the best story, or the best analogy, it comes from that example nga of the frog and the scorpion um, analogy, Rick.
Okay.
Because we've reached the point where we really need to work together, especially in the middle of a pandemic. No matter what position that you have, point of view politically, no matter what political spectrum you belong in, you have to think about the overall impact of what you do sa ating bansa.
Mhm.
Kasi the more you make us look bad, the worse it's gonna be. We're trying to get investors in. And if you are
Correct.
showing the rest, the world that hindi sa Pilipinas magulo dito, sa tingin mo mag-invest sila dito?
Correct.
Hindi. But obviously, meron pa rin mga wise businessmen that they don't really read the news because they know it's all propaganda. But
Yep.
still, that affects perception. That affects also tourism. If ever tourism comes back and then magkaroon tayo ng vaccine at babalik na uli yung turismo sa Pilipinas, sa tingin mo, sa tingin ko, maraming nga pupuntang mga tourist dito sa Pilipinas, pero merong kahit pa paano naapektuhan pa rin by the bad perception coming from these international news
Mhm.
outlets that are carrying stories coming from Rappler, ABS-CBN, Inquirer. This doesn't help, and
Yeah.
this only it just reminds me of the story of the scorpion and the frog. The frog tells the scorpion, okay, the scorpion asks the frog if he can ride on his back because he wanted to cross the river. The frog says, okay, it's just as long as you don't bite me. And then the frog entrusted the
Mm.
scorpion to mean what he kumbaga to make
To hold
sure,
on to his promise, no?
oh yeah, na i-fulfill niya yung promise niya na hindi niya gagalawin. Pero because it's his nature to sting, they both drown. And that's exactly what's happening right now. It's the
Yep.
nature of some people in politics, in government,
Yeah.
to destroy an opposing view because they want to be in power. And what
That's
happened
really
there?
very counterproductive, and it's very similar to crab mentality, di ba? If
Exactly.
you, if I don't succeed, nobody succeeds. Ganun eh.
Yes. If I want to look good, I need to make this person look bad.
Yeah.
Yun ang ano eh. Pansinin mo, hindi lang naman sa politika yun, kahit na sa private sector yata, ganun rin eh. Marami
Kahit saan meron naman, pero it's really a bad trait, and it's very common in the Philippines. I'm not really sure about the other countries. I'm sure meron din, pero dito sa Pilipinas marami. And yes, sa private sector meron din 'yan. And it's really ako hindi ko tinatolerate yan mga ganyan. So I tell them, lalo na pag under sa akin, I tell them to shut up.
Let's read some of the messages here, Rick.
Yeah.
Sabi ni Zulbir Zepol, mga idol, kung talagang matalino si Meme, ang madam, dapat alam niya bobo siya. Sabi ni Grace Puntalan, bobo nga kasi.
Yeah.
Sabi ni comments on sa ating kanina about Leni, abogada siya pero mukhang wala naman siyang sariling pag-iisip. Sabi naman ni Michelle at ang Chuy, like you said, Ron, bobo talaga tingin nila sa kapwa Pilipino. Another one, I think Lenny's PR team do it purposely. Nang iniinis na nila talaga sila pero effective naman. Pinag-uusapan natin. That's true.
So, iba
But
rin kasi na pagpabayaan mo lang sila. Pwede naman silang pabayaan pero it might,
na wag mong pansinin na parang daldal kayo ng daldal dyan.
Pero hindi, kaya silang pag-usapan
Sabi ni Major Likain, History and Math, na dapat po na accurate ang memory ng isang lawyer. Paano na lang po pag katulad ni Lugaw ang defense lawyer mo? Baka matalo ang kaso at makukulong ka ng tuluyan. Ito yung 1947 na yun ang problema kay Leni. Kaya nga kadalasan ng kanyang public appearances are scripted. Meron siyang statement or recorded yung kanyang mga message.
Yeah.
Kasi pag candid, she tends to say things that are weird.
Inaccurate.
Ha?
Inaccurate.
So, yung 1947 pala yung World War II. Yun yung tawa ng tawa yung mga DDS or yung mga ayaw kay Leni. World War II pala noong 1947. Di ba natapos yung World War II 1945? So meron palang siguro naman meron pang di nag-surrender na Hapon sa mga sa bundok dito sa Pilipinas. Sa kanila yung gera hindi pa tapos noong 1947. Baka yun yung makilala ni Leni, bro.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, ang tanong ko kasi, which part of the Philippines are they from? Or anong klaseng Pilipinas yung saan sila galing? Kasi they're really portraying, they're painting a picture of a very, very different Philippines than what we see. Iba talaga. My God.
Crazy, no? Sabi ni Rhea Rebellion, because she is a puppet of the Liberal Party. Shout out po. Watching from the other part of the world. Thank you, Rhea.
Thank you.
Good morning to you. If you're watching from the other side of the world, good morning. Tapos, ano ba ngayon? Feb? So medyo malamig pa sa ibang bansa ngayon, Rick, no?
Actually, dito sa atin, malamig pa rin eh.
Oh, malamig, no? Malamig. Meron tayong mga kaibigan na nasa Baguio, kahit sa Batangas, sa Lipa daw, malamig eh.
Tagaytay din yan. Sa Batangas malamig. Nag-night ride kami nung Sabado papuntang Tagaytay. Sobrang lamig talaga. Sarap ng panahon. Pero hindi lang ma-enjoy kasi sobrang lamig. Nanginginig na kami.
Tapos yung I think before we go, Rick, let's talk a little bit about the vaccine. We were supposed to have Dr. Beverly Ong. Sorry. Nag-message siya sa akin. Sabi ni Dr. Beverly Ho, she's a director from the DOH. She's gonna talk to us. Nagpa-reschedule siya.
Yeah.
Monday, Rick.
Sige. I hope I'll be there. Sana walang work
Oh
or
guys,
anything. What did she say?
Istoryang Futbolero Monday si Dr. Beverly Ho, yung napakagandang director for communications ng DOH, will be here sa Istoryang Futbolero. Marami tayong mga tanong. Ipunin na ninyo ngayong weekend, no? Baka may mga questions kayo, baka ma-explain sa atin yung issue about the vaccine. Sabi naman ni Dr. ano, 'di ba? Dr. ating idol Rick, si Dr. Salvana na ingat po tayo dun sa mga fake news na lumalabas about the vaccine, discouraging people or causing undue concerns or fear for certain brands like Sinovac, yung pag sinasabing 60% efficacy ay hindi po meron pang explanation dyan Kaya ang passing mark sa WHO, di ba Rick, is 50%. Ay pwedeng i-roll out na yun pag may 50% efficacy. Kasi meron pa yatang bini-breakdown pa nila yan in terms of severity nung nung sakit, 'di ba Rick? So I think the Sinovac pag may 85% or 90% efficacy for severe cases.
Mhm.
'Di ba Rick? Tama ba?
Yeah. Something like that. Oh. Hindi ako masyado familiar sa numbers, but from what I know, all the choices that we have have high efficacy.
Yun.
So, wala namang problema.
Wag po tayong nakikinig sa hindi eksperto. Kasi una-una, hindi naman po nag-aral yung mga yan. Meron tayong kilalang senador na hirit ng hirit sa social media or hirit ng hirit sa media about, bakit daw kesyo, bakit natin ini-entertain yung mga Chinese vaccine or Sinovac. Ano bang alam nila sa ano? Ano bang alam nila sa vaccine? Bakit ba sila nagko-comment on something they're not experts in? Let the doctors explain to you why which vaccines are effective. 'Di ba? Hindi naman siguro ako kumpiyansa ako Rick sa ating gobyerno na hindi naman tayo papahamak at basta-basta na lang i-vaccinate ka ng something na hindi effective at that will cause, 'di ba, harm than good.
Yeah, I mean,
Ayun.
lahat, well, alam mo yung vaccine kasi, hindi naman talaga siya 100% na effective. There are some vaccines siguro na 100%, pero this is the first ever rollout of this kind of vaccine. Tapos minadali siya. So, sorry.
Okay lang, Rick.
Hanap ako ng boss ko.
Anyway, more messages here, Rick, before we say goodbye. I'd just like to acknowledge sabi ni sabi ni our friend from Japan, nagiging pastime chismisa na lang siya ng mga Pilipino. We have somebody who's watching from Riyadh. Good evening to you. Sabi naman ni gawing puppet lang si Leni ng LP for sure. Kawawa naman. Parang wala siya sa sarili niyang pag-iisip.
As I've said, wala siyang choice. Sa totoo lang. There are other people that wants her to act this way and to do this, to do that. Wala siyang choice.
Guys, let's not create Cory Part 2 or Cory number 2. Because as much as we like a person, but if they can't perform or run a country, we're gonna end up feeling sorry for ourselves in the end. You know how bad it was, Rick, nung si Cory ang presidente? It's crazy.
Yep.
And we're still paying for the price for that price. Yes, we did that was she was symbolic for the time. We were able to get out of a dictatorship, but at the same time, from bad to worse. Naging oo
Wala.
nga.
I mean, she was just a nice face to look at. And the story checked out. Maganda yung story.
Mahilig tayo sa mga mahilig tayo mag-romanticize kasi ng mga ng mga tao mahilig
Pero,
tayo
I mean,
isipin mo.
effectively, ganito lang yan. parang ka nag-a-apply ng trabaho. Getting hired is one thing, but staying there and performing and hitting numbers and stuff like that is another, di ba? So, masaya na nanalo si Cory. Okay, wow, si Bolik na everything. Pero, hindi siya naging effective na president. Okay, and administration niya did very poorly uh, for the Philippines. No? And again, ganun lang yun eh. It's really nothing much happened. Medyo marami lang talagang nasira talaga dun. Yung panahon na yun. Yung, ano natin, di ba? Yung tawag nito, yung exchange rate natin, biglang nag-skyrocket yun eh. Di ba?
Wala, talagang olats yung time na yun, Rick.
Yeah.
Meron lang akong gusto ipakita, Rick, na, ano,
Yung
na
Futbolero.
before we end the program tonight on Istoryang Futbolero, Rick, I just want to remind people of how ridiculous politics is being, or how ridiculous the other side is when it comes to politicizing things, and their approach is talagang cringeworthy, and something that you can think about when you sleep tonight, so that by 2022 you will not make the same mistake.
Ano yan?
One out.
Tindig Pilipinas. From where?
Remember this?
Nakatayo tayo ngayon. Maloko.
Remember? No,
Hindi
you
naman
guys
tayo
remember,
nakatakpa.
right? Tindig Pilipinas. Tingnan mo yung kanilang hand gesture, Dick. Oh, diba? Oh, Trililing in the house. You have Kiko Pangilinan there. Risa Ontiveros. Anong naalala mo dyan, Rick? Napanood mo ba yung pelikula na yan na ginagaya nila?
Oh, yung ano yan? Yung ganun. Ano yan?
Hunger Games.
Hunger Games. I offer myself as tribute. Ay, nako. Bullshit.
Alam mo, kung gusto ko makita yung reaction ni Trillanes pagkatapos makita niyo yung litrato niya sa newspaper na ginawa niya yan. You know, yung walang nakatingin, parang hindi ko alam, siguro baka makapal na taga-mukha niya, pero kung ako yan, tapos nakita ko sarili ko na ginawa yan, yung alam mo yung
Luod.
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 Exactly, luod. Yung mga Bisaya dyan, yung nakakaintindi ng luod.
Yan ba eh. Merong
Yan ang
isang
luod.
mas magandang term. Hilas.
Hilas. Hilasa.
Hilasa.
Guys, yan yung ano yan yung mga politician natin. Tindig Pilipinas, yan ang pinakamagandang example ng kagaguhan na experience ng ating electorate sa ating mga politicians. Mga ganyang klaseng kakabalastugan at pagka yun talaga, hindi mo talaga, sorry, pero tingin talaga nila sa mga sa publiko bobo.
Tindig sila, galing kasi silang inidoro eh.
Ay, nako. Well, first of all, Rick, thank you so much for joining us tonight sa Istoryang Futbolero. Na-miss ka namin, bro. 1 month ka na wala, pati si Mikel.
Oo.
Grabe yung, naghahanap talaga ako ng mga co-host. So, dami ng guest sa ating programa. Actually, in-invite ko yung isang kaibigan natin from Davao to join us probably next week. If you know Mikey, who is working for the Davao City local government, should be interesting to have him. I wanted to ask him about Inday, kamusta na yung ang local government of Davao, kasi siya yung in charge kasi ng ng mga drug rehabilitation program sa Davao. And I've seen them work, and I've seen the people who have been rehabilitated in Davao. Talagang maganda yung programa nila. And they're working together with the private sector, all the different schools in Davao. They're pitching in making sure to help these people rehabilitate.
Actually, I mean, he would be a very good guest. Kasi okay yun. Matalino yan. He used to be a news anchor. Di ba? ABS ba? ABS ba siya before GMA?
Sa TV5, tapos Oo, parang
Tanungin
nag-ABS.
na lang natin siya. Tanungin na lang natin siya kung
Sana,
nag-get.
sana. Pero guys, sa Monday, wag niyo kalimutan si Dr. Beverly Ho. DOH, he'll be here. So make sure to come up with very nice questions to ask her. Should be interesting to have her over. Rick, rinig ko Rick, ang nagpasimuno daw ng Tindig Pilipinas na pangalan ay si yung dating miyembro ng Apo Hiking Society, si Jim
Kasi
Paredes.
mahilig talaga siya sa mga tumitindig.
Tumitindig. Oo. Pero maliliit na tumitindig.
Ayun, ayos. Bumabawi si Manoy.
Manoy, babawi si Manoy. Alam mo, I don't envy him, to be honest with you.
Oh, no, man. I mean,
the abuse that he gets on social media, but he still keeps on coming back. Ganun lang talaga siguro. Baka medyo talaga.
Pakapalan lang ng mukha talaga. Pakapalan ng mukha.
Pakapalan ng balat.
Oo, yun lang talaga. Balat. Pakapalan ng foreskin.
Ay, nako. Rick, anong shout out mo dyan? Final word and big takeaway before we say goodbye to our wonderful viewers. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'm happy. I'm glad to be back dito sa show na to. Medyo matagal nga akong nawala. Medyo busy lang talaga sa work. And hopefully I'll be joining more often, no? Siguro ang big takeaway ko talaga dito is really Filipinos right now are more aware of the political scenario here in the Philippines, which I think is a good thing. Alam natin kung binubullshit na tayo o hindi. Alam natin kung sino yung totoo at sino yung hindi, right? It's just that 2022 is very near, no? So make sure guys na you do your own research. Huwag kayo magpa-influensya. Hindi porke maratista dyan, maniwala na kayo kaagad, no? Na nag-e-endorse. So it's really up to us, no? If you really want a better Philippines, it's going to start with us, no? Do the right things on a daily basis kahit walang nakatingin. So that's called integrity. So be vigilant, and also now hindi pa tapos yung pandemic, nandiyan pa rin yung COVID, but the vaccine is right around the corner. Medyo malapit na. Ingat lang po, stay safe all the time. Wag lang po talagang magpabaya, lalo na sa health natin. Recently, a very close family member of ours has contracted COVID. So it is the first in the family. No? So medyo worried kami. Pero mild pa naman yung symptoms. So we're hoping na hanggang dun lang. So yun lang, really 2020 has been a very tough year for most of us. It's still tough right now. But really 2021, ang theme ng 2021 is really getting back to our feet. Kailangan na natin maging vigilant, kailangan natin maging tough, no? 2020 were tough times, but we're built tougher. Okay? Yun ang kailangan nating mindset. Mas matibay tayo kaysa sa COVID. But wag lang din tayo maging pabaya. Okay? So guys, I wish everyone the best of luck, lalo na yung mga OFWs natin dyan. Ingat po kayo lagi. Always make sure na yung mga safety protocols sundin lang po talaga natin. And thank you very much also sa contributions niyo dito sa Philippines. As Ron mentioned kanina when we opened this show, this episode, yung remittances sila, ang laking tulong kasi nagsa-circulate yung pera dito sa Pilipinas. Marami pong nagsasuffer dito, yung mga small businesses, ng mga medium businesses. Wala na silang pera, ganun. But with your help, no, with your remittances, umiikot yung pera dito sa Pilipinas, which is really, really helpful. No? So hopefully, tuloy-tuloy po tayo, magtulungan po tayo. Let's pray Let's work for a better Philippines moving forward. So make sure you vote for the right person. Yeah,
First of all, Rick, prayers to your family member.
thank you.
I hope it's not going to get any worse than what she or he is going through right now. Um, Thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us again on Istoryang Futbolero. Salamat rin sa ating mga OFWs. Congratulations, I think, is in order. I think na-approve na yung OFW Department of OFW, if I'm
Oh,
not mistaken. I actually saw this post coming from one of our friends na DDS na nagsabi na parang na-approve na yata yun. I will confirm. But mukhang okay na yung Department of OFW. So lalong matututukan
yeah,
yung ating OFWs na yung millions of OFWs all over the world. Ngayon, it only goes to show that we hold you it's very important that we support you and we are there for you. Kaya maganda na nangyari ito.
yeah,
At mabuti naman Congress did the right thing by approving this and support also the constitutional reforms on economic reforms kasi it will help the OFWs who will come back into the Philippines will need jobs. And one way to generate jobs is to bring in foreign investment. We shouldn't be, denying this by, maintaining certain strict rules on ownership dito sa Pilipinas.
yeah,
We should follow other countries that have been successful in enticing foreign direct investment to come in. So we have to support this as well. I think pinasana ng Kongreso yung resolution ni Speaker Velasco. Ngayon, iniantay na lang ang Senado to also come up with a resolution so that
nice.
once magkaroon ng joint resolution ng both houses, papasa kay Presidente at baka by 2022 magkaroon tayo ng referendum makasama sa election whether or not you approve changing the Constitution, at least the economic provisions, which will help us bounce back. So tulong-tulong po tayo. And number two, huwag po natin kakalimutan na, as early as now, pag-aralan po natin yung mga kandidato natin, huwag po tayong bumoto ng mga bobo sa ating gobyerno. Please lang, maawa tayo sa ating mga sarili. Pinakita na namin kanina kung anong mga pinanggagawa nila. It only goes to show ang ating pinaka-importanting criteria for a candidate is sincerity and authenticity. You have the innate ability to understand or appreciate sincerity. So make sure when you watch somebody, you look at their expressions, you look at the things that they do, what they've accomplished, and make sure you base your votes on these very important criteria when voting for them. And also help others who are very who lack this particular trait. Make sure to guide them also na, uy, pare, huwag natin botohin dyan. Trapo yan. Or ano yan. Di ba? And don't forget to share our page and our streaming as well. The more, the merrier. The more we have people joining us on Istoryang Futbolero, this becomes a family and a great community to discuss the issues and to talk about how we can help improve the human condition here in our country. So marami pong salamat ha. Huwag pong kakalimutan yung advice ng DOH at saka ng DILG. Bidang may disiplina. Bawal ang walang mask. Sanitize ang kamay. Distansya ng 1 metro. Alamin ang totoong impormasyon. Huwag po tayong magkalat ng mga maling impormasyon. It is your responsibility to make sure that the virus doesn't spread. Wala pa pong vaccine, so mag-ingat pa rin tayo. Good night, everyone. Have a good one. Rick, salamat. Bye.
Yep.
See
Bye-bye.
you Friday.
Bye-bye.